Hello and welcome to the harbour at Stonehaven in Aberdeenshire, where 8 artists are lined up next to the fishing boats ready to cast their nets. It's a brand new episode of Landscape Artist of the Year. From 2,000 applications, only 48 talented artists won a place in one of our 6 heats, in a nail-biting competition taking us north, south, east and west, through the country, in sunshine, wind...
It keeps blowing away.
...and rain. The prize our artists are competing for is a £10,000 commission for the Science Museum to create an artwork celebrating the raw beauty of the Orkney Islands and their key role in the sustainable energy revolution. But first they'll need to impress our 3 eminent judges: Kathleen Soriano, Kate Bryan and Tai-Shan Schierenberg.
I love the fact that you're very relaxed in this environment. I look at that and I want to scream, so enjoy.
And they'll be joined by 50 additional artists, the Landscape Artist Wildcards. How much paint have you got on that palette? You can do my bathroom without much paint.
If your peers, that's fine.
So this week, whose efforts will sink without a trace?
I'm feeling rushed.
I think the main thing is not to overwork it, because I'm in danger always of doing that.
And who's in for a whale of a time?
I hope I've made Scotland proud. I've definitely done Scotland colourful.
Watch us make waves as we search for the next Landscape Artist of the Year.
I was hoping you could give me some inspiration.
You want inspiration from me? You really are in trouble. Angling for a good day at Stonehaven Harbour are 8 artists. Art teachers Daniel Roy Sharples from Lancashire and Sophie Parr from Cheshire. Digital agency director James Leonard from South Wales. And artist Andrew Baramman from Cornwall, who's working in charcoal.
Just looking forward to meeting the other artists, seeing how everybody interprets the same scene. Everybody's different, and I really enjoy that.
Also taking part are electrician Tony Griffin from Glasgow, Kieran Mian, a cartoonist also from Glasgow, Charlotte Cordon, an illustrator from Exeter, and baker Amy Old from Newcastle upon Tyne.
I got here quite late last night, so I think the adrenaline's kind of running now, so I'm wide awake, ready to go.
All the artists were chosen on the strength of a submitted landscape, which they've brought with them today. And as they settle into their pods and unpack their materials, they're contemplating the task ahead.
I just want to get into that zone, headphones in, and enjoy discovering what's going to happen on your canvas, because you never quite know what it's going to be like.
Artists, you have 4 hours to complete your challenge. As they say round here, lang may your lum reek. I mean, they don't say it like that, but you get the idea. It means good luck. Your time starts now! Under a foreboding sky, our artist's view from the concrete harbour wall looks out across the water and moored boats. Beyond the quayside and beneath steep cliffs lie rows of fishermen's cottages, all bathed in today's flat, silvery light.
At the moment, I'm drawn to all those ladders coming down the quay to the boats, so I think that might be my main focus, with lots of reflections in the foreground.
It's a busy view we've got today. I think that there's loads going on. It's quite hard to pick. There's a couple of houses kind of stacked on top of each other, nestled into the hill over there, which I quite like.
Oh, beautiful morning in bonny Scotland. But it is quite still at the minute, and it is quite monochrome almost. It's quite grey. I think it's a really hard view, actually. There isn't much middle ground and foreground. There's very little perspective and sense of distance. So I think a lot of them are going to struggle with that. And you know that famously in Scotland, you get all types of weather in a single day.
You know, are artists confident, familiar with painting water? How do they feel about reflections? Have they braced themselves for the tide? I mean, this water's just going to disappear later. They've got to make very good decisions this morning to really anchor them.
Yeah, and maybe take some photographs of the water.
I missed my pun.
Oh, sorry.
Faced with the changing view and constant movement on the water, our first artist is diving straight in.
Wonderful reflections on the water. I want to keep the reflection quite loose. I want to try and get as much of that in before the tide changes.
Sophie Parr studied at Cheltenham College of Art and is now Head of Art and Design at a school in Ellesmere Port in Cheshire. Her submission is of an overgrown blackthorn hedge near her home that she watched become more and more unkempt during lockdown.
Sophie, sorry to interrupt. You were just getting going.
Yeah.
It looks very beautiful. But can you tell me what it is? What are these things? What have you decided on here?
So I'm sort of focusing on that wall and the ladders coming down and then the boat's reflections. So I want to try and get as much of that in before the weather changes and the reflections might disappear.
So let's talk about your submission. This beautiful blackthorn bush. I mean, I look at that like I look at this scene and think, I want to scream. It's just so complex, but it's very beautiful in its abstraction. And you always look for problems in a way. I mean, that is kind of a problem that needed solving.
Yeah, I think I need the challenge. So if it seems too easy, then I get a little bit bored.
You won't get bored today.
No, I won't.
Today I've chosen to use charcoal because this is my passion, charcoal. I really love it and I can just focus on the tones and just enjoy myself, really.
Originally from the West Midlands, Andrew Baramman has been drawing and painting landscapes around Helston in Cornwall since moving there almost 30 years ago. Andrew's submission is of a Cornish oak tree growing through the wall in a local field, and shows how he uses different tones to produce an atmospheric take on the landscape.
So, Andy, I can see you're sticking with the same medium that your submission was in.
I do painting oils as well, but I'm using charcoal, so I don't have to worry about the colour mixing. I can just enjoy working with tones and shapes.
And there are little bits of colour here, but in the main, it is quite grey, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite monotone. So do you feel like it's quite suited to your medium as well?
I think so, yeah. I've got some lovely darks I can see in the harbour walls, and we've got the lights reflecting from the sky and the buildings, and we've got some nice blocky shapes, which I quite like.
Tell me a little bit about your submission, because we were so taken by the heroic tree in winter, presumably?
Yes, late winter.
But we really, really loved the strength of this. So
thanks.
it was really impressive for a work in charcoal. So
thank you very
great
much.
hopes for today.
Oh, thanks. No pressure then.
Our 8 artists aren't the only ones handy with their paintbrushes today. Setting up further along the harbour arm, across from the pods, are 50 landscape artists of all ages, experience and techniques. It's the Landscape Artist Wildcards, and they've travelled far and wide for a chance of a place in this year's semi-final.
I come from East Sussex. I paint on the Cuckmere Haven, and today I'm in Stonehaven, so it's one haven to another haven, and I'm going to go hell for leather for it.
Oh my God, the view is just breathtaking. I have to pinch myself that I'm actually here. It just feels kind of unreal, really.
Did one of you forget your canvas? What's going on?
No, we chose the biggest one we could possibly get.
You're both painting on it together?
Yeah, both at the same time.
That's like a dance routine.
Yeah, hopefully we'll still be best friends at the end of it. And
Well, let's
we'll
hope
be happy.
yeah,
with
no
what
one gets
we've
thrown
managed
into
to
the
do.
harbour.
Yeah, exactly.
With the washed-out greys in today's weather, our next artist is bringing out different tones to add atmosphere to the scene.
What I want to do is have quite a lot of sky in the painting. I think it's great, and I think it's challenging, trying to find the exact right grey for the sky.
Growing up in Berkshire, illustrator Charlotte Cordon was encouraged by her Chinese grandmother to paint. Charlotte's submission in oils was painted in a field in Dodyscombesley in Devon. Capturing an oak tree in full sunlight, it demonstrates Charlotte's impressionistic style.
Morning, Charlotte.
Good morning.
What do you make of all this water?
Yeah, I love it, but I'm gonna make today about this Scottish sky and this Scottish landscape that's actually all around this town, and then this very safe little bit of a harbour.
It's interesting that you've really responded to the sky because you've given it a clear half of your painting already.
I'm gonna stick with what I can see now, just because right now the clouds are exactly the sort of mood that I want to capture.
Yeah. What about your submission? It is a great painting and it looks like it is done in like the shortest possible amount of time. Was it that fast to paint?
Yeah, it was really fast. In fact, it never really got finished because my cat then got chased up the tree that I was painting and we had to get her back down. And then I just thought, well, actually, it looks kind of good as it is.
Interesting. Maybe your cat is some sort of artistic mentor that we really need to bring on the programme. So thank you very much, Charlotte.
And Charlotte isn't the only one struggling with today's flat grey light. Our next artist is aiming to bring the scene to life with colour and contrast.
My colour palette today will probably be lots of greys, maybe some browns and greens. There's an orange boat there, and there's a lovely ambulance there, which is bright day-glow yellow. So that would be nice if that stays there.
Born in Glasgow, electrician Tony Griffin plied his trade in Scotland and Canada for many years before pursuing a fine art degree at the Glasgow School of Art. Tony's submission, painted on holiday in Andalusia in Spain, was completed in 10 hours and captures a sense of rhythm and colour moving through the landscape.
So, Tony, your submission, lots of buildings, lots of complication. Here, we're in a harbour, lots of buildings, lots of complication. Does it feel easy? It's very grey, isn't it?
No, it's very grey. It's all very flat. So I've got lots of grey paint.
Very handy.
It's handy.
Now, Tony, let's talk about your submission. It's got this interesting sort of viewpoint where you're looking up at the town or the village. It's bathed in sunlight.
Yes, it's slightly impressionistic. I like a lot of colour. I like that it's a kind of rhythm to it, you know, going from left to right.
That's what we're going to see here today, in a sense. It's going to be the rhythm of the shapes and that silhouette.
All the way through.
Well, look, I'm looking forward to it.
With the first hour nearly up and the tide about to turn, our artists need to get a move on.
I am still getting into the sky, although I know I really need to start on the rest of the painting.
I'm starting to put some of the lines and the little details in without going too detailed. I'm not at panic stages yet.
The weather does concern me, and the fact the tide is going out. You know, it is what it is. We're all in the same boat. Excuse the pun.
At Stonehaven Harbour in Aberdeenshire, 8 artists are tackling the changing weather in this Scottish seaside scene. But as stormy skies roll in, one artist is imagining more tropical climes.
My mum's from Nigeria and my dad's Scottish. There might be a little bit of Nigerian colour in today's Scottish landscape. It'll be important that I put it into a painting today.
Raised in southeast London, Amy Old attended the Royal Drawing School before moving to the northeast, where she studied fine art at Newcastle University and now works in a bakery. Amy's submission in watercolour and acrylics is of a natural spring in Nigeria and took 2 days to complete in her signature bright colours.
Amy, I love it already. Can I take it? The colours are beautiful. There's sinuous lines of the water. I mean, what is it about you and water? You seem to just love it.
I think it's just the movement of it. It's just never the same.
It's fluid.
It's very fluid.
And I was really, really worried about you this morning because I was thinking there isn't nearly as much colour as we have in your wonderful submission, which takes me to hot countries, hot colours.
Hot colours.
Cool country, cool colours here.
Yeah.
How does that, what would you say to someone who said, well, that doesn't look like what we're looking at because the colours are all wrong?
I just feel like it's just how I felt in the moment.
Well, it promises to be something really, really interesting. Exciting.
Thank you.
Despite the panoramic view of Stonehaven Harbour, our next artist has chosen to zoom in.
I suppose the kind of artist I try and be is someone who captures a moment rather than specifically just a landscape. I'm probably not going to go too wide. I think that there's so much here. I think that I'll probably take maybe about half of it in.
James Leonard lives in the South Wales village of Ruse, where he's technical director of a digital agency. James's submission, a nighttime scene of his son at a Christmas fair, was painted in oils in 6 hours and shows off his loose, undone style.
James, we've given you an awful lot of information. We've got the harbour, the boats, the cottages and the hills above.
Yeah.
And actually, you're really taking the slice in front of you and trying to get it all in.
Yeah, I really liked these two houses nestled into the hills there and how those hills kind of really lift up after the water. So I was kind of going to try and juxtapose that with this boat down here and try and balance it between the two.
So you're trying to get this beautiful sort of art.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kind of take the eye up through the canvas.
So talk to me about your submission.
Sure.
It's again got a lot of information in it, but you've dialed it down.
Yeah, I quite like finding like a moment, sunrise or like a nocturne or something like that, and try and capture something happening.
Yeah. Well, James, you're making me feel very relaxed. You've got everything under control.
So something I've learned today
Yes,
is that Stonehaven is the birthplace of the deep-fried Mars bar. I've got two here.
For brunch, it's brunch time, isn't it? Go on. You're really selling it to me, Steve.
This is one of those occasions when you actually want a seagull to come down and take your food.
I like it.
Do you? Thank you.
I mean, looking out here, there's lots of buoys, there's lots of ladders and masts. And not only have our lovely painters got to deal with the boats and the reflections, but it's a very grey day.
Yeah.
So I think it might rain, which could be interesting.
Yeah.
The water's dropping in our little harbour here, so soon there won't be any water. So the whole thing is impossible. That's the joy and the awfulness of plein air painting.
It's like a deep-fried Mars bar. You don't really want to eat it, but you have to. While I go in search of something to take away the taste of the Mars bar, our next artist is taking a stylised approach to the traditional harbour view.
When I'm painting landscapes, I tend to go for the linear style and strong colours, which I don't see in front of me. There's something that I can see in stuff that other people might not be able to see.
East London-born Kieran Mian took drawing classes at the Glasgow School of Art as a child and went on to a career as a newspaper cartoonist. His submission in acrylics is of his brother walking along a country lane in Stowell Hill in Somerset, and took 30 hours to complete in his graphic, illustrative style.
Kieran, you've definitely got the sky, I would say. That sort of glowering, lowered,
it's intimidating.
Dark clouds. With the trees and the water, you've taken us to the Caribbean, maybe, at the minute? Mind you, knowing that Scottish weather changes every 2 minutes, we might even get there before the afternoon's out. So, Kieran, tell me what drew you to that view in your submission?
Well, there's something kind of otherworldly about the two trees, and I included the figure for a touch of poignancy.
And will you be looking for a poignant figure today, do you think?
That will be the last thing.
Well, it's looking good.
Thank you.
Faced with so many elements to consider in today's landscape, our final artist is brushing off any concerns about the complicated view.
My style's sort of impressionistic. I do like to capture some sort of atmospheric perspective. I try and get the brush strokes done, within a couple of hours, so it tends to be quite loose.
Daniel Roy Sharples from Preston studied illustration at the University of Central Lancashire and is now head of art at a local secondary school. His submission of Leith Street in Edinburgh during December took 4 days to complete, with distinctive marks capturing the rush of people and the reflection of lights on wet ground.
Daniel, looking at submission, I didn't realise that the way you put down the mark is very idiosyncratic and very noticeable. Is a brushmark important?
No, yeah, I do like to sort of see the brushstrokes at the end of the painting and, include them.
And today, this is a very moody palette you've chosen. I know it's very grey here anyway. Is that your natural habitat?
Yeah, like that big group of buildings there, it will just be a mass of that sort of tone.
OK, so something simplified with the tone and colour right, it will sit in the right place in the space. And I love the fact that you're very relaxed in this environment. I look at that and I want to scream, so enjoy.
Thank you.
Further along the harbour arm, the wildcards are also taking it all in their stride. How much paint have you got on that palette?
A lot of paint.
Did you trip and spill some by mistake?
I'm a go hard or go home person. It's big brushes,
Go hard or go home.
paint.
It's like enough to... You could do my bathroom without much paint.
If your peers, that's fine.
I love the way that you've sort of made this harbour look so picturesque and so quaint and so, well, almost like timeless.
I suppose that's what the harbour is. It's bits here that are ancient, and then there's newer bits as well. So
yeah, painting the whole story.
Yeah.
How's it going?
All right, yeah.
You got a tent.
I know.
Set ready for the rain.
That's it.
I think it's coming, isn't it?
Stole it off the grandkids.
Did you?
Yeah.
Back at the pods, with the halfway mark of the competition approaching, impending rain may be the least of our artists' problems.
It's a complex subject matter. The amount of boats, trees, houses, water, everything, feeling apprehensive.
I've now just gone completely away from the water and trying to block out some colour on the top because I've realised that I feel like time is getting on a little bit stressed.
We're coming up to the end of the second hour and I'm keen to get going with the details and the bolts and stuff like that. I feel like I've not got started properly yet and I need to get a move on.
Up near Aberdeen in Scotland, 8 artists are hard at work capturing the complex and changing view of Stonehaven Harbour. Oh, and did you paint the boats upside down, Sophie?
I painted them as I saw them.
As you saw them?
Which happened to be upside down in the reflection.
You just don't like sky, do you? What have you got against
love
clouds, Sophie? What have they ever
but
done to you?
You've got to decide, is it about the clouds or is it about the boats?
That's true.
Amy, there are like 100 boats in front of us. There's no judgment implied. I'm just curious. Like, are you just like, are they exiting the picture?
I think I'm just going to ignore them, to be honest. I know that's awful, but...
It's art.
I've never painted a boat, and I'm using the colours from them, and I think that's going to be enough.
They're there in coloured representation. Great.
Yeah.
She's never painted a boat. She's not about to start now.
Purple haze. It's a bit Jimi Hendrix, yours, isn't it? I like the colour. How's it going, Tony?
Well, I don't know where to go from here. I've been focused on things that are going to change, you know, with the light and the water. And I was hoping you could give me some inspiration.
You want inspiration from me? You really are in trouble. With 2 hours left of the competition, our artists are navigating their way as best they can. But do our 3 judges think they're on the right course? Halfway through the day, as our artists look across the water, it's time to get your reflections.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's more where that came from.
Well, I feel very buoyed about the whole thing.
Oh, very good.
Ooh.
Tony has taken that grey scene and he's using quite a warm palette, isn't he?
I think Tony's been really, really clever because he's actually absorbed most of the hill. So he's got a green, verdant, lush colour. There's only a tiny bit of that white Tupperware sky that sits above.
And I love the sweep that he's given us, this great sort of panorama and the way that he's using this warmth, when in actual fact it's quite flat and quite grey.
Sophie seems interested in the tangle of lines and the ladders and the fences.
I really admire Sophie for looking at something and saying, oh, that's a big kind of complex mess. I'll paint that. Like, everyone else is editing it out to make it quieter, to reduce it, to make it simpler, and Sophie's really leaning into it.
It is all about reflection. So in the reflection, nothing's fixed, so she's still feeling her way through. And it's miraculously appearing, this sort of in the chaos. The chaos is appearing, and it makes sense. It's rather magical.
James likes dramatic lighting. He likes painting first thing in the morning or last thing at night. That's not what he's got today.
I think the lack of an exaggerated light is tricky for that painting because it's all existing in the same register. It looks a bit flat. It's quite a straightforward composition in the sense that he's sort of painted exactly what's in front of him.
I think James has found the drama in identifying the curve, the sweep of the harbour wall, actually, which, given that there isn't much foreground, middle ground, and certainly very little perspective and long distance in this view, is quite effective.
Amy's brought some of her Nigerian heritage colour scheme.
I just love the way she puts the paint down, the way that she can just find these interesting passages. It's sublime, organic, beautiful, weird, great.
She's done the top and the bottom, but there's nothing in the middle. And it is slightly worrying because while we might see a lot of promise and be excited about someone who works in a slightly different way, she's got to give us something that's more complete.
Andrew's given us this very charmingly, slightly melancholic piece of work at this stage.
I think it's a beautiful fragment at the moment. Andrew's created this world. I don't know, it feels Dutch. It feels...
Yes, completely Dutch. Golden Age Dutch. Van Gogh, it's like a Van Gogh drawing.
Yeah, and it sort of takes you on this very strange journey, but it does live off the emptiness. It's that contrast.
And it's quite big. Given the level of detail and the tininess of the houses, it's quite a large thing.
Daniel has given us something, it's got dynamism, hasn't it?
It's interesting the way he's painting it, though, because it's like being painted like a grenade. It's all kind of coming from the middle outwards. The way that he's putting paint down is interesting. The composition seems interesting.
At the moment, I don't know what tonal harmonies or colour harmonies are going to be with the final painting because he's just not putting any of the sky in. So it's very unclear. When he talks about it, it seems he's got a plan. I can't see it.
When I look at that view that they have, it's just a mass of stuff. But Charlotte, she's finding a way, isn't she?
I think Charlotte's a real romantic. She's given us a sort of wistful view of the harbour. For me, it feels a little bit... It's not rich enough, it's not finished enough.
Yeah. She had a plan this morning. She loved the sky, and the sky was dramatic this morning and a, you know, quite meaty set of clouds, so the picture hangs together, but undone enough that you really will focus on what she wants.
Kieran's given us a very pretty, idealised Stonehaven. That's not the Stonehaven that invented the deep-fried Mars bar.
Kieran sort of inhabits that place in between very sophisticated composition, as we saw in his submission, and quite sort of simple, straightforward, unsophisticated drawing. When it works, it really works wonders.
I hope that Kieran can sort of navigate this picture this afternoon and try and deliver something a little bit unexpected. You know, sometimes one of the best things to do with a style that's so prescriptive is to just be a bit strange with it.
Be an interesting afternoon. We'll keep an eye on the paintings. We'll also keep an eye on the weather.
Also mindful of the forecast, the artists are adapting their techniques to the challenges of the changing view.
Normally with charcoal, you work from the back forward, but because of the tide, I've worked on the water first, and now I'm going into the buildings, and I'm finishing off working on details that may have been rubbed out by myself by accident.
James.
Hi.
How's it going?
The flat grey is really difficult to work with. I'm kind of relying on the dark greens of the trees and the hills to give me a bit of contrast. Just break it down into just two values, dark and light.
So by reducing everything to these two tones, you get the really just the bare bones of a rhythm or a compositional sort of structure.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope you're having fun.
Yeah, having fun.
Stonehaven's natural bay, encircled by protective cliffs, was established as a thriving fishing harbour back in the early 17th century.
1607 was the first recorded date when fishermen were based here, and it expanded to become one of the largest fish-based ports in the area. The fish could actually end up anywhere in the country. It was exported down to Edinburgh and London predominantly.
In 1825, one of the most famous engineers of the 19th century, Robert Stephenson, known principally for designing lighthouses, was commissioned by the town to construct a long-lasting stone harbour and 500-foot pier, which dominates today's view.
The upgrade to the harbour was a big boost to the local economy. It allowed more vessels to safely moor against the quayside, and it set the picture for the upcoming Industrial Revolution.
By the mid-20th century, overfishing had depleted the once plentiful fish stock, and Stonehaven's primary economic source completely disappeared.
The populace who were involved in the fishing up and down the northeast would have felt it very deeply, that the vast majority of the townsfolk were out of work. Fishing boats were being sold up. Alternatives had to be found.
Stonehaven adapted, and leisure and tourism are now the order of the day, with numerous hotels and restaurants welcoming the thousands visiting Stevenson's Harbour each year from all over the world. And our wildcards are also enjoying their not-so-sunny day out in Stonehaven.
I've never painted a harbour scene before. It's a challenging experience. I don't want to go down the chocolate box territory.
Well, I think you're doing a great job of avoiding it. I mean, and part of that has to do with what you're painting onto.
I'd like to collage almost at random bits of scrap, books and things, and then introduce order into that chaos.
OK.
I really admire the sort of patience that you've exhibited in making such sweet work.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a real labour of love. Every single little brick of that cottage.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I'm happy it's nearly done. This one.
I've included a seagull because I feel like it adds to the atmosphere of Stonehaven. But I also wanted to get a total feeling of the place. So I want to include the houses. They're shaped different ways to kind of protect from the sea when the weather is extreme. So there's something unique to the place, too.
Just as it's time for the judges to decide on a wildcard winner, the heavens open.
It's lovely. Lovely. But this is loveliest of all. I think you are a winner today. Hello. Well done.
And Katie Kerr's grey Stonehaven scene, highlighted with a warm wash of colour, is the judges' overall favourite.
Your painting really sings, and your mark making's just gorgeous, so well done.
Thank you. It feels amazing. I never expected it. And I thought what I was doing was terrible, so I'm chuffed to bits. I just can't believe it. I might just go to the pub for a drink.
Katie from Edinburgh will enter a pool of wildcard winners from all the heats, just one of whom will be chosen to compete in the semi-final. Though, unlike the wildcards, the pod artists have protection from the rain, one is using the downpour to his advantage as they move into the fourth and final hour.
I've included umbrellas and people scudding around to get out of the rain, but I'm going to work on the trees again. It's just an amorphous blob where I need to separate them and give them a bit of depth.
Probably going to try and neaten up some of the drawing, the details of the boats, and just adding little things that I've forgotten about, like little hints of colour, like the little orange buoys and highlights on the tops of boats. Yeah, I'm running out of steam.
I'm feeling rushed. I think the main thing is not to overwork it, because I'm in danger always of doing that. And I think better to just be careful about every mark I make. Don't get tense. Relax. It'll be fine.
Our 8 artists are nearing the end of their harbourside landscape challenge at Stonehaven in Scotland. And despite the heavy rain, the crowds have continued to pour in.
How have you found it working with people very close behind you? Have you been...
No, it's been lovely. It's been lovely, yeah.
You listening to the comments?
I'm afraid so, yeah.
Put you off or helped you?
No, it's not put me off. It's put me in my place.
Has it? Everyone's a critic.
Oh, I'm not cracking on, I'm just slowing down. Take a minute to just see how it's working and not put the ambulance in that's turned up over there.
Artists, you have 5 minutes left.
I'm going to leave it, not make a mess that I can't then put right in the last few seconds.
I hope I've made Scotland proud. I've definitely done Scotland colourful.
I'm done. I'm done.
Artists, your time is up. Please put down your equipment and step away from your easels.
As the artists relax, the judges head inside, out of the rain, to narrow their selection to a shortlist of 3.
So we've spent the day in the harbour and now we're here with all of these amazing artworks in this big old boat shed.
It's amazing, isn't it? I would never guess from all of these works that actually they were of the same place.
It was such a complicated day, and none of them have really succumbed to the confusion.
Like, look at this amazing panoramic sweep that Tony's done. I love the colour register. It's very rich, isn't it?
You know, he gave us that lovely view right the way out of the other side of the canvas. And I really like the way in which he's taken the bottom right-hand side and the top right-hand side triangles of the canvas to sort of mirror each other.
I admire Sophie's ambition. It's a really difficult one to pull off, to give us just the reflections as the main subject matter.
I like the fact that I have to work hard to understand it. I have to work hard to read it.
There's a sense in James's painting of incompleteness. I like his composition. I like the fact that I feel that I'm low down the water.
I think James is beautifully finished, actually. I'd be scared if he did any more to it because there's an awful lot of information here. You know, he went for the hills and the cottages, the cars, the boats, you know, the entire kind of busyness of today.
Looking at Amy's painting of Stonehaven, I want to be there. It's making me look at Stonehaven in a new way, and it's suggesting stories which I wasn't aware of.
We've landed in the Caribbean, and it's hot, and there's this beautiful movement in the water, almost as if the waves are sort of rolling against the beach. I love the imagination.
I didn't know that Andrew would be able to do this in the way that he has. It's a really clever use of charcoal, actually, in the water, because I believe it's water entirely, and that's largely because of the reflections at the top.
To have a drawing where 3/4 of it is a sort of smudgy mess, and for us to understand it as sheer water is quite remarkable, and he's giving us incredible detail at the top. It's just so evocative.
I love the way Daniel's painting sort of starts at this tiny dark blue in the centre and then just sort of expands out and takes you right to the 4 edges in this star shape. It gives it an energy and it gives it a sort of openness.
And I realise now that actually this technique of starting in the middle and building it out, he's basically creating patterns within his own paint. So although the sky is one colour, the brush marks all sit in different directions, like a tapestry or something.
With Charlotte, I said she was a romantic, and I feel like I'm looking at an illustration from a Victorian novel set by the seaside that is static, but then is slowly going to come to life in a film.
You know, Charlotte's given us this big, moody sky, and it's a beautiful sky, and I think it's one of their most successful passages.
Kieran found us in a Hokusai, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that the way he's put the rain in, that it's lighter in certain areas and darker in certain areas. There's that sort of literalness, but also sophistication. And so he's been able to bring that together very nicely.
I said halfway through the day that I really felt that Kieran needed to give us something different this afternoon, and he did. He found something, and he was really, really helped along by the driving rain.
So, gosh, we've got a difficult task today.
Yeah, I usually have an idea who my top 3 are.
I've got a top 5. I think this is a really, really hard location that we gave them today, and we've got some absolutely fantastic works.
Yeah.
Artists, thank you for all your sterling work today. The time has come to reveal which 3 of you the judges have selected for their shortlist. The first artist is Tony Griffin. The second artist on the shortlist is Amy Old. The third artist is Daniel Roy Sharples. Commiserations to the rest of you. I hope you've all enjoyed the day. We've enjoyed watching you work. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you. Well done. See you in a bit. Well done. Hope you enjoyed it.
I didn't think I was going to get this far. It'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to win. However, honestly, all the artists there have been absolutely amazing.
The judges now have the unenviable task of selecting their winner. Only one artist can go through to the semi-final. To help them, they also consider the chosen artist's submissions.
Been interesting today with the weather coming and going, the water disappearing from the harbour. It's nice to set them challenges where the landscape is in a state of flux. We can see from Tony's work this jumbles of geometric shapes.
Yeah, and both of them are these fantastic panoramas, and then what he's done today, and you really get the quality of the light, slight sort of moisture in the air. It's just so beautifully composed.
Yeah, I was a bit worried when we got the submission up against Tony's painting today that they were both identical in format and positioning. And actually, Tony's painting of the Spanish town has that kind of graphic clarity to it, whereas today's painting is much more organic, it's much more immediate, and it's much more alive.
Amy brings those warm and vivid colours to her work.
The colours are very heightened. The paint application takes us to a different place altogether, the way that everything almost looks like a tapestry or a weaving. But I think it's really important that Amy, as an artist, is able to bring her own perspective, which isn't just about heritage, it's also about emotion. I can see that she's prepared to take risks, sometimes actually kind of reworking over and over certain areas to almost stain her own painting with new paint, and you see her doing that in the top right of the submission.
We were intrigued at half-time as to how Daniel would tackle the sky, which he hadn't started at that point. It's quite an interesting style he's used.
You know, he understands tone and colour in a very traditional way. He's a practiced plein air painter. And then you look at the choices he makes and what he leaves out. And in his submission, the way the crowd work their way through each other, that sort of snaking through and huddled. And today he had a harbour full of boats, and he's just used a handful to give us a feeling of the jumble of boats.
I didn't understand it at all halfway through. And then I realised what he was doing was making these really interesting marks. Although the paint colour is the same, the marks all sit in opposing directions to one another. So it gives this fantastic liveliness, almost like a piece of fabric or something.
Right, well, I've just realised that I've spent the whole day in a fishing town, so there is a place available in the semi-final. Who's going to fill it? Tony, Amy, Daniel, to get to this point is in itself a great achievement, but only one of you will be coming with us to the semi-final. The artist who the judges have selected is Tony Griffin.
To be the winner of this heat is just phenomenal. I'm kind of speechless. I've never actually felt like that before, other than the birth of my children. I think it's just unbelievable.
I think Tony was really good at giving us a true sense of Stonehaven Harbour, a real sense of place and a real feeling of the weather. And although it sits on the traditional side, it has something fresh and open and lively to it that we really liked. It was a complete work, really.
I honestly don't know what I'll do differently for the semi-final, but for now I'm just going to keep painting. If I can make this my full-time job, that is the pinnacle. That's what I want to do.
Next time, Landscape Mania lands in Liverpool.
I'm painting in the Fab Four. George, Paul, Ringo and John.
As 8 new artists tackle the city's iconic waterfront and an uninvited guest.
Just got here and there's a huge octopus in the way and I don't want to paint it at all.
So in our octopus's garden, who will get lost in the undergrowth?
It gets messy from here on in.
And who will come up smelling of roses?
We're not going to worry, we're going to paint.